Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Sammy, United People's TV. We have got 2 live shows left before the summer transfer window closes. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it being over. But United are far from done. All right. We got some early signings done. Sure. Then it went into like a period of negotiations. And now, Man United are coming out at the end of it with Manuel Ugarte. And it is Ugarte Day. He has passed his medical. I imagine the media duties are done. All the announcement videos are recorded. And at some point today, maybe even during the live show, we're going to get the Ugarte official announcement from United. Will he be in the squad to face Liverpool tomorrow? I suppose we'll find out from Erik ten Hag in his pre-match press conference tomorrow. But we're going to speak about Ugarte and the announcement that is coming today. We're going to speak about Jadon Sancho and Juve and Chelsea. And his exit is 100% on. In fact, I would go as far as to say I would be surprised if Sancho is a Manchester United player come 11 p.m. tomorrow. We'll speak about McTominay and the official announcement that's coming there on Napoli, but that's kind of like just a bit of details, although there's one big detail around the price of McTominay, which is good. And there's quite a few other things that I will run through. I apologise to everyone on Facebook again. We nearly did a whole summer. Well, maybe not a whole summer. Majority of the summer with no technical hitches. Yesterday and today, the live stream's not working on Facebook. I promise I'll try and get it fixed. I tried to get it fixed for today, didn't work. I'll get it fixed for tomorrow. But if you're on Facebook, well, you can't hear me. So who's here from the mod and the member gang? We've got Client, Anuj and Carl. Good morning to all of you. Alex, I see you there too. Josh, I hope you're tuning in today. And if not, buddy, I'll see you tomorrow. Alex, man, you kicked off the show by kicking in. Everyone's kicking. 10 memberships. Hopefully somebody will be kicking Chelsea out and City. Ooh, speak about that soon. Thank you for gifting 10, dude. And I would say hi to everyone on Facebook, but, well, no one's on Facebook today, so. It's a busy 48 hours coming up. We've got Ugarte announcement. We've got Sancho to Juve, hopefully. We've got McTominay to Napoli. They're the 3 big ones. Then there's other little loan deals that could be happening. And then you've got deadline day tomorrow. And then you've got the Europa League live draw tomorrow. And then you've got the small thing of playing Liverpool on Sunday. Big 48 hours coming up. Now, let's dive into the show. You know the drill by now. Please fire in your questions, your comments. I'll make it as interactive as I possibly can. Did anybody see Mbappe on Twitter last night? His account got mega hacked. Mega hacked? Probably just hacked. It's quite funny, actually. I'll be totally honest. I wonder how these accounts get hacked. Is it just... Do you reckon his password was Mbappe !3344 or something like that? People, if you don't use difficult passwords, I'd all encourage you. I'm not sponsored by them at all, but if you struggle with passwords, use an app called Dashlane. I think it's like 30 quid for the year. Just go and look at it, and if you use it, it'll make all your accounts significantly safer, because we live in a world now where people are trying to steal everything from you online. Kieran asking, saying, what is that top, Sam? This is actually the Juve of a third kit. I saw it, and I was like, that kit's way too good. And now that we're talking about Sancho going to Juve, I think I'm almost a Juve fan. I think everyone knows my opinion on Jadon Sancho. I'm not smiling about it, because I think Jadon Sancho is probably going to go... If you're looking at the top 3... worst transfers that Manchester United have made, you look back in 5 years' time, you're probably going to put Anthony as number 1. Well, certainly right up there at the top. And you really are going to put Jadon Sancho very close to that. And maybe Angel Di Maria? Don't really know. Anyway. Yeah, I thought that as well. This here, right, that's completely in focus, right? It's not that this is out of focus. I think that they've designed it so it looks like it's moving, which is actually quite clever. Anyway. Chelsea face more than challenging bid to meet UEFA's financial rules. Oh, I mean, that is such a shame. What an appropriate photo, by the way. Anyway. Alexis Sanchez, yeah, of course. Chelsea are facing a challenge to comply with UEFA's financial rules after the European governing body confirmed that it does not allow clubs to register income from selling assets to sister companies. I'm going to revel in their downfall. I've not exactly hidden how much I despise that football club. And it's just, this feels like the beginning, all right? They're going to have clever accountants. They're going to spend millions and millions and millions of pounds trying to get around it, to find the loopholes. You know what this was about? They had think Chelsea as a football club, when Clearlake and Todd Boehly bought them, they also bought hotels as part of the whole package, and then sold a hotel to a sister company that was also owned, at least in part, by Clearlake Capital or Todd Boehly. But UEFA have gone, no, you can't sell something to yourself and then count it as revenue, which is a big problem for Chelsea. As is Raheem Sterling being on 325 grand a week for 3 years, and they've frozen him out of the squad, and they've taken away his shirt number. You know how mad that is? 325 grand a week. That's like Man United doing that to Rashford or Casemiro. I think they're the only two wage earners that can get anywhere near that. It's like it's us just booting Casemiro to the reserves and taking his shirt number away, or the same with Marcus Rashford. Anyway, such a shame. It couldn't happen to a nicer club. Akash, how you doing, dude? Thank you so much for gifting 20. Speaking of Casemiro, let's see if is he there? He's there.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Sam, I'm exactly the same as you. I love a bad Chelsea story. And there are more coming. Honestly, I said it on Twitter last night, but who's hosting the party when Chelsea get liquidated and City get relegated? Because that's going to be a double header. That's parade level. Anyway, last night, before we jump into the transfer news, there's a couple more things I want to speak about. We got the third round Carabao Cup draw. Wasn't it horrible, man? Horrible. It's the way football has gone, and it's something I completely agree with, by the way. Maybe not completely agree with, but partly. Yesterday, the 6 teams who were in the Champions League and the Europa League were seeded, so they couldn't, I think, play in a certain week because of the extra 2 games that are coming in as part of the revamped Champions League and Europa League formats. I think that's right. Anyway, United drew Barnsley, and that there is the perfect draw for 2 reasons. Number one, it could have been a lot more difficult than Barnsley. And number 2, that right there is where Ten Hag needs to rotate. Now, last season, season before, Ten Hag doesn't rotate. Ten Hag as a manager doesn't rotate, but Ten Hag also isn't just a manager anymore. Ten Hag has Van Nistelrooy. Ten Hag has Hake. Ten Hag has a football structure around him. This is where we need to see Bruno on the bench, Martinez on the bench, Manu on the bench. You see Collier coming in. You see Harry Amas coming in. You see Ethan Wheatley starting. Ten Hag, up until this point, has always played his strongest team, but I'm telling you, it has to be a development that we see this year. Like, don't be like, oh, wow, I'm so surprised that Ten Hag's rotating. That's the part of the development that has to happen. If we don't rotate this year, we are screwed. We're screwed. We will not have the fitness to cope with the season that's coming up. And now that Ten Hag's got a couple of new voices in his ear, directly in Van Nistelrooy and Hake, and also above from the football structure, it won't just be up to Ten Hag to go, nah, sorry, I'm going to play my strongest starting 11. He'll have to listen to coaches around him. That's what I think, so anyway. Our under-21s did just beat them. I think that was in the... What cup was that? I can't remember. Is that like the old Johnson's Paint Trophy? Remember that? Is that still a thing? Don't really know. But yeah, rotation has to happen in that game. Now, one last thing I want to say transfer-wise, before we move in and we speak about Ugarte. Who's that? Well, it didn't really matter who it is. I'll tell you. Anyway, it's Andre from Fluminense. And I find that one like a little bit of a weird one this summer. After, what was it, the Copa Libertadores final, where Fluminense won, it was at that point where I think Andre was heavily linked with a move to Liverpool. No one's really been linked with him at any point this summer, have they? I'm curious as to why. EFL trophy, there you go. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm curious as to why. Anybody know? I think you're looking at around about somewhere in like 20 to 25 million euro range. But yeah, United have been looking around for midfielders all summer long. Andre's name never came up. Liverpool, they've been looking for a number 6 all summer long. Andre's name never came up. Be interested to see if Wolves have actually landed another good one there. Yeah, I thought that one was quite curious. EFL trophy sponsored by Bristol Street Motors. Bring back the Johnson's Paint trophy, man. Old school. Right. Let's dive into the main part of the show. And it's going to be a good day today, I think. Because we're going to get the Ugarte announcement. I'll run through what the news is and then we can have a conversation. Who is messaging here? Why do so many people still message me after 10 o'clock? They surely know by this point that I'm on a live show. And apparently not. Anyway, Ugarte, all right? Let's run through what the news is saying. So, Fabrizio up at, 2 in the morning like he always is. It's Ugarte day at Manchester United. Florian Plettenberg saying this morning that it's a done deal. We've successfully completed his medical. The announcement, he's saying probably Thursday. And Fabrizio is saying the same thing. All the medical is completed. He landed in Manchester, if I'm correct, on Tuesday late at night. So yesterday was the full medical day, media day, and potentially, right? Potentially Ugarte trained with Manchester United yesterday. But we should be getting the official announcement. And truth be told, my dream signing in midfield this summer was Onana. I still stand by that. It's not to say that Ugarte is going to be a bad signing, and I don't think he'll be a bad signing. I think he'll be, honestly, for what we need, I think he's going to be an amazing signing. No conversation really about what squad number he's going to be. Tech, you're saying 16. Hafiz, you're saying 13. I don't really know. What number did he wear at PSG? Let's have a look. Let's see if anyone's sending any super chats down here. Shabugan saying, Merry Ugarte Day to those who celebrate. We're all celebrating today. And Joe with a very random super chat. Am I right in thinking you don't always read out super chats? Unless you're rude, I'll always read out super chats. And if I do miss them, I always go back a little bit later in the show. So don't ever get offended if I don't read it out straight away, because I can just go back later. Ugarte, man, I'm excited. Maddie, you're saying 4. Archer, well, 3 or 4 of you are all saying number 4. Ahmad has 16. What did he have at PSG, man? He was 4 at PSG. Oh, well, there you go. Well, that's quite easy then, isn't it? Oh, Delict's got 4. Oh, yeah. No one. Don't really care what number he wears. Don't think he cares. I'm excited to see this signing, man. I think I'm still reserving my rating on the transfer window until the window is closed. As I say to you before, there's no point reviewing a film before you've watched the ending. Now, I think we know what the ending is now. The ending is likely, well, probably best case scenario, the ending is likely Ugarte being confirmed today and being in the squad to face Liverpool. That'd be great. And Jadon Sancho going to Juve on a loan with an obligation, and a big obligation. I'm talking north of 30 million euros obligation. That's, in an ideal world, it'd be 40 million pounds. That's what I think he's technically worth. In terms of his age and how many years, I think he's got 2 years left in his contract, 3 years left in his contract, something like that. Anyway, so best case scenario is Ugarte in, Sancho confirmed is out with a big obligation. McTominay completes his move to Napoli, and maybe there's a couple of other deals. In an ideal world, you probably bring in another left-sided defender, which is unlikely, all right? Alex, you're asking it down there saying, do you think there'll be an additional? I think we're done after Ugarte, people, right? I'm not going to be, unless it comes from like Ornstein or comes from Romano or comes from somebody I trust. I'm not going to jump on any sort of last minute hype that happens in these last 2 days. I think we're done after Ugarte. And if I'm being completely honest, we go to the done board, right? That is a hell of a strong summer. Heck of a strong summer. We all knew, going into the summer, we all knew that central defence needed sorting. We needed someone new in midfield. We needed another attacker as well. And we've gone and got Ugarte from PSG. We've gone and got better centre-back signings than anybody, even the most optimistic United fan, could have predicted. All right? De Ligt and Euro. If any of us had said the first day of the summer, had any of us said De Ligt and Euro, you would have got laughed out of the chat. So that exceeded expectations. And then on top of that, you've got Mazraoui in and Wan-Bissaka out, which is, I think it's an excellent deal. And I like to think that I don't know. We already had a conversation who we think is going to be the best signing for United this season, but maybe slyly I'm thinking it could be Mazraoui. We'll find out. Lots of you, a couple of you are saying a 10 out of 10 window. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 window. I've explained that in my video that I'm probably going to do on... That's what I mean. It's a busy time. I think I'm going to do... Saturday, I'll do a transfer window review before the Liverpool game. I think it feels like the best time to do it. Friday, we've got the Europa League live draw on here. Sunday, we've got the Liverpool game. And I've got to do a Liverpool starting 11 there somewhere as well. Free. What else are you saying down here in the comments? Next summer, next summer's going to be your big... You know how Euro was a statement signing, a marquee signing at centre-back? Next summer is the exact same thing, but central midfield. Yeah, Tyler, you're saying it's the academy players you're interested in seeing as well. As I'm going to speak about Kone a little bit later in the show. He should well be getting announced today, I think. Actually, I don't even know if he's going to get announced because I don't remember there being an announcement for the Fletcher twins when we signed them from City, for example. But I think there should be confirmation, maybe just from a couple of journalists, that the deal is already done. And obviously, Obi Martin, that we're still waiting for the Premier League ratification for. Half-time oranges, I completely agree with you there. Players out feels like the biggest improvement, which is exactly, right? How's that for a segue? Jeez. It's exactly what I did my video on yesterday. And I said, this summer was... Look, we had to get our signings right this summer, okay? You can't build... I mean, it's impossible to build a good squad capable of competing in the Premier League until you have like 2 or 3 really good windows back to back to back. Now, in my opinion, this is number 1 from United. We've started that trend. And that's why I did that video yesterday, because I ran through all of those names on the right-hand side. From Martial and Varane leaving, which was an easy decision, really. Of course it was. Well, maybe if the Varane... There were lots of United fans. You can have Varane, Wan-Bissaka and McTominay are 3 players that some United fans were like, oh, you got to keep him. Varane, Rolls Royce on his day. Yeah, on his day, sandwiched in the 332 other days where he's not available. He left. Did he get injured? I swear he got injured in his first game of at Como as well. Hasn't been getting on since. No idea. We still need to do a Como away trip. Jeez. Varane and Martial leaving, 500 grand a week gone, and all the sales that have happened. And we've still got the Sancho exit to be confirmed. McTominay, I'll run through the details of the deal in a little bit. And there's probably a couple more loan deals on top. I know that Martial's contract ran out and he was a free transfer. That's why he's down there as a free. Same as Varane. But in the same way, that was it the previous summer where... I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was the summer before, where United let quite a few players go for free, whereas they previously may have kept... It may have been like Mata and Matic the year before. Yeah, apparently you're saying Varane got injured. Poor. I feel sorry for him, man. And I hope he can somehow find his fitness, but I've been saying that about Varane for 2 and a bit years, and it's never come. And the same conversation around Luke Shaw. It is what it is. Some players just get plagued by injuries, and it's because you're playing elite sport at the highest level, at the highest intensity in the toughest league. And your body has to somehow cope with it. It's a young man's sport, certainly the Premier League, apart from some anomalies. Anyway, if you want to check that video out, have a look, because that's me running through all the sales yesterday, because I do agree that it's so important and a big reason why this summer's been a success. And then you've got Jadon Sancho. At the start of the summer, I named 3 players leaving as the most important that United could do this summer. And I said number 1 was Mason Greenwood, which happened. I think we could have got a little bit more, but we've got a 50% sell-on clause for any profits if he was to be sold for 100 million, for example, which won't happen, but, it might. Then we'll make 50% of any profit from the, I think they paid 25 mil, so we make 37.5 mil. I just randomly threw loads of numbers at you there. Anyway, it's a decent enough deal. Number 2 was Casemiro for me, which hasn't happened. No one came in for him. Not one interested party came in for Casemiro. So we've just got to hope that with Ugarte coming in, that the load is going to be shared. And I'll run through my squad, full squad, after the window's closed. So next week, probably around about Tuesday, I'm going to assess Man United's full squad per position and also the sub. And in my opinion, this season, Casemiro is actually going to be the alternative to Mainu rather than the alternative to Ugarte. And I'll explain what I mean in that squad video. So I think Casemiro's highlights this season, if he has any, which I'm sure he will actually be the goals and assists that he contributes further up the pitch rather than the OG Casemiro who's sweeping and cleaning up behind. I think that's going to be Ugarte and Collier doing that role, with Mainu and Casemiro actually being the ones that sub in for each other. That's what I think. We'll find out. But Sancho, right? This was important news yesterday. Federico Chiesa going to Liverpool. 13 million euros. I mean, it seems pretty cheap to me. It definitely seems cheap to me. But, I mean, he's had massive injury problems. Find out. It could be one of those signings that is proven to be an incredible signing. And, wow, I can't believe it was only 13 million euros. Or he could just be on the injury table the whole time. But anyway, who cares about that for Liverpool? But Liverpool effectively opening the door for Juve to come in for Sancho. So yesterday afternoon, it was Fabrice Hawkins. I think writes for, is it RMC Sport? Anyway, he's French. Saying that an agreement has been reached between Juve and Sancho alone with an obligation to buy. Okay? Fabrice Hawkins still remains the only journalist who has said that. Let me quickly check to make sure there's no updates before we dive into run through a story. Yeah. So as it stands, Fabrice Hawkins is the only one who said that it's actually a done deal. Okay? Fabrizio Romano, I believe, is saying this, that Juve and Chelsea both remain in talks with Sancho. Juve have improved their proposal today for a loan with a buy option. United are insisting on an obligation, and a salary coverage is also a key point. Chelsea remain in active talks, but still want swap with Sterling. Yeah, good luck. And that was at 10 o'clock last night, right? Then we had this. Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian saying that Sancho's actually holding out for Chelsea, which, if you look at it from an ambition perspective, is a ridiculous concept. Why on earth would you go into the fire that is Chelsea with all 9,700 squad players? Why on earth would you go there instead of Juventus, where Thiago Motta is definitely building something? Had a strong start to the season, an amazing manager of Bologna last season. It's a very exciting club to go to, I think, Juve this season. And then you remember that he's from London. It may well be that just Sancho just wants to go home, wants to just go back to familiar surroundings, go back to living near more friends and more family. And it's a complete mess. But anyway, I don't really think that he's going to go Chelsea. DiMarzio here saying that Juve's offer was a loan fee of around £6 to £7 million, including bonuses and partial coverage of his salary. Now, I don't know whether a loan... When, loan fees now sometimes happen with loans. Is it loan fee on top of all of the salary being covered? Or is the loan fee partly covering said salary? I don't really know. But it does say partial coverage of his salary. Maybe that means... I have no idea. But Juve certainly want Sancho. And they've already signed Conceição and is it Nico Gonzalez from Fiorentina? 2 wingers. But because now Chiesa's gone to Liverpool, they've got more money. In fact, I'm gonna do a poll down here, right? Everyone loves a poll. Don't know why I sing that. Right. Predictions. Right, predictions. Sancho stays. Sancho joins Juventus. Or Sancho joins Chelsea. Right, they're the 3 options. What is your prediction? What do you think will happen? My prediction is that he'll go to Juve. Personally. And it feels, and I hope this is the case, and I really hope this comes out and we find out about it, that kind of Dan Ashworth used Chelsea a little bit. Never really had any intention of... Look, there might be some sort of... We already had this discussion yesterday, I think. You could know some sort of justification as to why Raheem Sterling potentially could be a good signing. But I would just disagree with you. Because it didn't line up with anything that we've done this summer so far. And that's what made me go, this kind of feels like a bit of a negotiation tactic. And maybe it was exactly that. Just a negotiation tactic from Manchester United to kind of not force Juve's hand, but kind of push them towards it a little bit more. Okay, let me read some of your comments and your questions out down here. What are you saying? Loan fee is separate, says Connor. Yeah. So 6-7 mil is a loan fee plus what's 325 grand a week for a season? What's that? 1.2 mil, 1.3 mil a month times 10, 13 plus 2.6, 15.6 mil. I don't know about taxes and all that. That's just your rough numbers. If he's on 325 grand a week, we're around about thereabouts. Man, he's an expensive dude. A couple of super chats. Let me read these out. Halftime Orange is saying, Sancho threw his toys out the pram with the squad depth at United. Imagine him competing with 12 other wingers. Did anybody see there was a photo that was going around on Twitter yesterday of like in the locker room, the dressing room at Chelsea. And you know, you can like go to a bowling alley and they've got that big thing on the wall there where all the shoes are like lined up. There's like rows of 8 and there's 8 rows of it. All the different sizes of bowling shoes you can put on. That's what it looks like in Chelsea's dressing room. There's so many people there. It looks like a bowling alley for like football boots. I think there's another super chat there, and I'll read some other comments out as well. Gally, you're saying Sancho wants to go to Chelsea to earn money and be part of the freeloader. Freeloader. Kind of got confused there. I mixed that in with the Ricky Gervais song. Anyway, freeloader fringe players. Chelsea, if you want to go Chelsea, just... I'm telling you, my dad reminded me the other day when I said that Sancho, when he's sitting there like rocking on his porch, when he's an old man, he's going to be pissed at what he did with his chance at Manchester United. He is going to regret it massively. It is what it is. Try not to live life with any regrets, people. Regrets are annoying, and they stick with you. Connor, if we ever sign another right winger, I want them subjected to a 12-month intense psychological evaluation before we discuss a deal after our last few. Yeah, we've not had a good hit rate on right wingers, have we? Deary me. Oh, wow. Man, Nuruddin, every time I see your name down there, you're a legend, man. I can't say it enough. And can I say, by the way, before I quickly go back down to the comments, thank you all for sticking with me throughout this whole summer. Tomorrow, the last 2 live shows of the window. And I tell you what, I need a break. There's been a lot going on personally. Trying to buy a house. I'm not going to tell you what's going on with my flat in London until it's all said and done. But there's been a lot. So thank you all for sticking with me throughout the summer. And JC, man. JC's gifted 50 as well. Can I just encourage you all? And I know I say this, but I genuinely mean it. I don't think there'll be a better community in the world for United fans than joining the Discord. All right? Get in there. It's like an extension of what the chat here is today. Big up to all of you. Ryan is saying the plans are for deadline day. I'll be here all day. I'm here all day today. Yeah, I've basically been on call the entire summer. I was thinking about that this morning. That's the only way I can describe it. Man, all of you. You've made this community what it is, and you've enabled me to bring so many people in. Do you want me to tell you something really exciting? I'll tell you this now. Ronnie, who's been working with me for how long now? I think it's about 12 months in a part-time role. Ronnie is starting full-time from the 1st of September with United People's TV, the first ever full-time employee. And it's all because you're enabling me to invest into the channel and to make it bigger and better. And I swear on my life, you wait until we've got a deep dive already ready to go, but I haven't released it yet, on the new transfer strategy of Manchester United. We've got another one that's coming, and this one's, I think, will probably be one of my favourite things that ever gets made for the stadium. And lots more. Alex, I will bring back the Barry video for the 50s. I just know that if I press 50 right now, it will play a video clip which I've forgotten to replace that I got a copyright warning for. Yeah, big up. Everyone saying congrats to Ronnie. Yeah, you're all on this journey with me. It's been a journey to now, but I'm telling you what, the most exciting part of United People's TV, it's all about what's coming ahead. I'm looking forward to it. Really, really are. We've come through the swamp, people. We've come through the swamp. And now, well, saying that, come through the swamp, we just bloody lost to Brighton. We've got Liverpool on Sunday. Anyway, Sancho, Vamos, join Juve, please. Leave Manchester United. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. Who's that? Ashok, thank you for gifting 5 memberships as well, dude. All of you. You've got 1,100 votes in, and 77% of you are saying that Sancho joins Juve. And I agree with 77% of you. Right? I think he's going to be going to Juve. So hopefully we get that confirmation today. And if it's not today, then hopefully we get that tomorrow. All right? I want Sancho to not be part of this squad this year. He will not be a help or an asset. And it will just be like having a bad egg. He's not part of the present. He's not part of the future. To get that loan, and I imagine, well, we'll find out. As I said, there's reports saying it's a loan with an option to buy. There's other reports saying loan with an obligation. And we don't really know what it is yet. Wait for the more information to come. Now, with Scott McTominay, here's an important update, right? All the documents are signed, okay? He's going to become a Napoli player. He's going to be in Italy later today. 30 million euros package plus a 10% sell-on clause, which is a really good deal. But the deal gets better when you realise this. That package is all guaranteed, right? All guaranteed. 25.7 mil, 30 million euros. That's the fee for Scott McTominay. It's not performance based. It's not bonus based at all. All up front. 100% of it guaranteed. And then on top of that, we've got a little cheeky 10% sell-on clause. Fine. Ugarte and PSG, they've got a 10% sell-on clause as well. But I'm impressed as to how Man United have got that all 100% guaranteed. Now, with the Fulham deal, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the The biggest Fulham bid was 20 million, I think. We don't know what the structure of that 20 million was, by the way. Pretty sure it was just, I have no idea actually whether it would all be up front or not. But that right there is a very good deal. Hannibal, Man United getting 5.4 mil up front, rising to 9.4 with a 50% sell-on clause and a buyback. It's a very good deal. Like we have watched in real time Man United coming out of the shadows this summer in terms of transfers. Sure, there's stuff that we could have done better. Sure, there's players that we could have got for a bit cheaper. Sure, there's a couple more players that we could have sold. But from what we were used to, that was an absolute feast this summer. We've been feeding off scraps. Stale bread is what we have eaten as United fans. Very expensive stale bread. Sam, will you make a short here we go for Ronnie when he officially starts? We'll get some like signing pictures. That'd be funny, man. That would be funny. JC, thank you for the super chat, dude. You're saying never want to see last season again. Nuruddin, you are the man. He is indeed the man. You're all the man. JC, you're extremely generous as well. All of you. Just these incredibly generous members of the community that help expanding the community. Invite other people in. Anna, you're gifting 5 as well, dude. Thank you so much. And a little super chat from the main man himself, and then let's go down. You're in for a pleasant surprise this season. Trust, as for the Liverpool game, we've been here before, we know the result. And we have been exactly here before as well, Nuruddin. Man United in the 3rd game of the season, facing Liverpool at Old Trafford, when there's pressure on Erik ten Hag, having lost the last game, and one of those games is against Brighton. We've kind of nearly been in exactly the same position. And I loved that game. I went to that game. I don't get to go to many games anymore. But that was the game where there was the big protest pre-Liverpool. It's like 10, 12,000 United fans. And then we beat Liverpool. Sancho scored in that game. What could have been? That was easily the best goal he ever scored. Don't know who he sat someone down their arse. Can't remember. Was it? Who was it? Was it Van Dijk? Can't remember. And then Rashford scored the second. And on top of all of this, a little cheeky one that maybe no one's really spotted or discussed is this. And here we see an example of one of Manchester United's sell-on clauses potentially paying off. Right? Negotiations are underway between Torino and Luton for Mengi. Personal terms have been agreed, and United have got a high percentage sell-on clause. Don't know what that means. 20, 30, 40, 50. I've got no idea what the exact number is. But if Mengi joins Torino, Man United are going to be getting a decent little... It might be 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. I've got no idea. 1 million. Either way, it's going to be an extra little bit of money. And these are the ones where we've agreed lots of these this summer. Hannibal, let's have a look. I'm pretty sure every exit there, we've got 50% on profits with Greenwood. Pretty sure we've got 40 to 50% on both Cambuala and Van der Beek and Pellistri and Oyedele, a massive one on him. 10% on McTominay. 40 to 50, I think 50% on Hannibal. And Fernandez as well. I can't remember if we have one on Fernandez, but I'm sure we must have. All of these are going to start over the course of the next few years. It should be a case where Manchester United every summer can conceivably say, we should be making somewhere in the region of like somewhere between 5 and 20 million pounds every summer on these sell-on clauses, bringing in some cash. And that all helps. It can fund maybe a squad signing. And all these little things we haven't had before. That's what I mean. We're seeing United actually operating like a football club. Charlie, you're saying 50% on Greenwood. This is going to earn United a fortune in the future. It's 50% on profits of Greenwood. Remember that. So if they've paid what? I think they paid about 25 million for Greenwood. Something like that. Can't remember exactly what it was. But if they sell him for 50 million, that's a 25 million profit. United would get half of that. Passive income. Exactly that, Jamie. And it's a big reason, like, you look at what City have done. I can't remember who the names of the players are. There was a couple of them that just really sort of made me go, how on earth did City just earn 10 to 15 mil from that? It's really annoying. But they've, These things are all going to make a difference. Right, let's move on. There's a couple more talking points before we wrap up today's show. Last 5-10 minutes. Look, Ivan Toney, right? Ivan Toney, for me, doesn't match up. I mean, kind of, you could probably just about squeeze him into a vision and say that it kind of falls in line. But we don't even have a one striker system right now. We have 2 false 9 system. Yeah. If Man United were to make one more signing this summer, I'd be a little bit annoyed if it was a striker instead of a left centre-back, left-back cover. That, for me, is where if I was going to make one more signing, it would be there or in central midfield. One of those two. Another central midfielder or a left centre-back cover. Not Ivan Toney. I think this is, in my opinion, this has just been paper guff since the start. I don't think there was ever really anything in it. I think he got linked with Chelsea yesterday. I think it was in yesterday's show. I was like, Arsenal needed a striker. Chelsea needed a striker. Spurs needed a striker. None of them have gone for Toney. The only club, up until yesterday, that was linked with him was Saudi Arabia. And now, of course, Chelsea want him. Of course they do. Honestly, it's like they're collecting. It's like they're just collecting. Don't know what they're collecting. Everybody. There's been like, you know, everyone loves a good conspiracy theory. Well, Chelsea are going to have they know they've got a transfer ban coming up, so they're just stockpiling players. Madness. Anyway, this one should be an outstanding. This one's an exciting one. Now, I've already covered Sekou Kone in a video. It was very top level, all right? It's not going to be like a pure transfer profile. You know everything about him. It's just like, this is who he is. This is how old he is. Here's a little bit and a few examples of him with the ball at his feet and what he's capable of. And he is expected now to sign with Manchester United today. All the documents are sealed. All the documents are ready. And you've got I don't know who Christopher Michel is. His name's popped up quite a few times this summer. He's saying the exact same thing, actually. I think Fabrizio Romano just did another update there. What is it going down here? Oh, look, Chelsea's selling a goalkeeper to Strasbourg. Another team that they own. The multi-club model. Right? Anyway, this is what Fabrizio is saying here. Okay? United will formally complete the deal for him today. Deal's already done. It's already signed. He's undergoing his medical. He's in Manchester. So we should be I don't even know if we'll get an announcement on Sekou Kone. But we might do. And you know what? I saw somebody say this, and you know what I thought? Maybe that's a pretty fair comparison. Is Manchester United have signed Manuel Ugarte, right? 23, just got years ahead of him. But maybe Man United have signed Ugarte and Ugarte's successor at the exact same time. Because in 2-3 years' time, when Kone is, 20? 21? And he's developed at the football club. He's got used. He's now settled. He's played for the under-21s. He's made some first-team appearances. Maybe he then comes into the squad and challenges Ugarte for that position. And you could have Ugarte, who by that point will be 25, 26, will be like one of the leaders of the team, will be completely established. And then maybe Kone coming through as the competition. And then you build a squad. I think that's an interesting concept that maybe United have signed Ugarte and his potential successor at the exact same time. But that's forward thinking. There's and Neil, you just said it down there. Who is this club and what have they done with my club? I have no idea. But it feels like, and I suppose that's what you've got. If you have a game model that is in your head, you know exactly how Manchester United are going to be playing in 5 years' time, even if it doesn't work out with Erik ten Hag. And Erik ten Hag is replaced. He's going to be replaced with a manager that plays the exact same game model that Ineos want. It's not going to be the U-turns that we've had before, and that's why we've never been able to build a squad. We've gone from Van Gaal to Mourinho to Solskjaer to Rangnick to Ten Hag. And the requirements of those players in those different systems were completely different every time. And it was a mishmash. Now we're going to have that clear vision. And maybe Kone in the future could be looked at as a potential Ugarte replacement. Or maybe a long-term Casemiro replacement. Either way, he's one for the future. He's not one that we should really be having a conversation about this year. Let's let him settle in the club. And who knows? Maybe he'll settle and develop quicker than anybody would have expected. And maybe before the end of the season, we will get to see a Kone debut. But I wouldn't bank on it. I think just let him develop for a year inside Manchester United with the coaches, with the environment. And then next year, let's have a conversation. What else are we saying down here in the comments? We've had electricians trying to fix the plumbing in every department. It's a good analogy. And everybody has indeed got electrocuted. Have we erased Moyes from the memory bank? You're damn right we have. I start with Van Gaal. And even I will argue with any United fan. Van Gaal is still the worst football that we have played post-Fergie. That was like water torture. All right. Apparently 29. Oh yeah, we've got 2,900 people watching. If you can, please drop a like on the video. See if we can reach 1,000 likes by the end of it. Because this is the penultimate live show of this summer. And look at this, right? A little bit of I don't know what to call it. Well, I know exactly what it's called, actually. It's a video of Malacia training. He's still working. I really hope for this lad's sake that he comes through this, because it must have been extremely, extremely mentally challenging. Because he's missed what now? How much has he actually missed? Because it was more than just last season. I swear he was injured going into... Was he injured going into the summer? I think he was. Anyway, let's stop this video on a bit where we can actually see his face rather than just staring at his ass. Yeah. Training hard. There he is. He's alive. Right? He is alive. Truth be told, personal prediction. I don't think Malacia will have a career at Manchester United now. Opportunities at United are tough. And I think if you miss an entire, probably 14, 16 months through injury, the club will move on. The club has to move on. The club can't wait for you. And Harry Mass is there now. Probably in the same position that Malacia was when he came in. That's when Malacia came in as the understudy in the competition to Luke Shaw. Great, we had that. Now I think Harry Mass does that. And I think, well, to be fair, Luke Shaw was going to be leaving next summer anyway, so maybe there is still opportunity, but we don't know. Yeah, he'd definitely be injured for more than a season, isn't he? Feel sorry for him. But anyway, he's training hard. He's trying to get back fit. Let's see if maybe we'll see him in the cup games or something like that. I've no idea, but he's still training individually. Now, last thing for today's show, which I think will be a good little chat, is this. All right, let me go full screen on this one. These are the projected, and it's important to say that, projected pots for the Europa League draw. There's still some games to be played tonight, so these aren't confirmed. They'll be made official, I don't know, about 8 p.m., 9 p.m., whenever the game's finished tonight. So by the time we come to the live show tomorrow, I'll have the confirmed pots. Now, the way that this works, I'm going to be doing this live tomorrow, all right? I think it'll be fun to do it live. The way that this works, as far as I know, is Man United are going to have 8 games in the groups. It's not in the group stage. It's one big mega league, right? One big mega league. Man United will play 2 games, 2 teams from every pot. So every year prior in the group stage of Champions League or Europa League, you get a group of 4. You play 3 teams twice, home and away. Done, right? Easy. That's not the case now. What this will be is 8 games against 8 different teams, 4 home, 4 away, and 2 are from each pot. So I think pot 1 is pretty much, I don't know, Ajax got a question mark next to it. So look. And Slavia Prague have got, man, I love that. I love both of those. Ajax and Slavia Prague. 2 great trips. Anyway, so Roma, Porto, Ajax, Rangers, they're thereabouts, all right? There's no point doing like a best draw and worst draw because all the teams aren't in the pots yet. But I'm looking forward to it. And I'll be doing that as an extra live show. Does anybody know what time the draw actually is? Because I tried to Google it yesterday and I couldn't find it. I don't think there's like an official start time. But I'm guessing around lunchtime. I don't actually know. Saya, you're saying Louis van Gaal was very much a what could have been situation. Maybe if he was given the third season, who knows? And I'll be honest, I think we knew. There was no way that third season was going to turn around what happened in that second season. It was sort of like, it felt like a long, slow goodbye, but still the way that he was sacked after the FA Cup final was grim, man. Absolutely grim. Akashi saying, Sam, are you concerned with the lack of a controller in the middle? I think that's the marquee midfield signing for next summer. So, yeah, I think the squad's missing that. But I hope that with a higher line and with De Ligt and Martinez squeezing the space, we should be able to get a lot of progression from our actual back line, from Martinez, from De Ligt, from Mazraoui. So we should be able to cope with it without season, I think. Lyle, you're saying 1 p.m. UK time. Tommy, you're saying 5 p.m. UK time. Looked it up, 7:30 UK time. So that's 3 completely different times. Thank you all for helping me in the comments. I don't know. But I think it's around about lunchtime. Yeah, that's exactly what I read yesterday. Hey, it's computerized, the draw. That's so weird. So odd. So it's not like watching balls getting drawn out anymore. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's going to be a sod knows. I'll do a live show. We're going to be live as we find out the 8 teams that we're going to be playing in the Europa League. But last couple of minutes of the show, fire in your questions, anything I haven't spoken about that you'd like me to speak about. But at some point later today, I'll be going live again with the official announcement for Ugarte. I got no idea what time it's going to be, right? And that's what you have to be on call during the summer. It might happen at 8 p.m. If it does, I'll be here and I'll be waiting all day for it. But it might also be at 12. We have no idea. Potentially could do the starting 11 for Liverpool today. I'm trying to figure out where all the content's going to fit in. Because we've got the Europa League draw deadline, starting 11 for Liverpool, and the transfer window review. Quite a few. It's a bit of a head scratcher. Ollie's saying, what's happening with Rashford? Hey, dude, man. Nothing has seemed to have worked with Rashford. Like whether it's time off, whether it's missing out on the Euros and the frustration of that driving him, and then having the extra summer space and time to refine himself. Rashford's very much come back this season looking like the Rashford of last season, which is kind of sad. And that's just the way he looks a little bit. He just didn't look happy. As far as I know, my body, I'm not a body language expert, but I remember the best Rashford that I saw that season where he scored 30 was like, it was like chest out. He stood square, tall, and he was stronger, man. He could ride tackles. And it's just, to be fair, I think he was actually covering a lot of ground against Brighton, and I don't think people were looking into that too much. But it's just that the product's not there. Rashford is just, I don't know, man. That's going to be down to Ruud van Nistelrooy and Erik ten Hag. You know how Ten Hag spotted it with Sancho and said, clearly this environment isn't the right place for you. You can go and have 3 months off training for yourself. Now, it didn't work, but he spotted it and realised that there was something wrong with Sancho and something wrong with the environment. But then, watch Rashford score 2 against Liverpool. Love scoring against Liverpool. Alex, you just said it down there. I've got money for Rashford to score on Sunday. We'll find out. And I'll do my starting 11 soon. Come on, Rashford, man. He's right there. I just don't know where he is. I don't know whether he's locked inside himself. I don't know whether his head's been turned somewhere else. I don't know what's going on personally, but it isn't 100% Marcus. And he has to show that this season, or he will be sold next summer. I don't think Man United, I don't think Ineos will allow Rashford to have another mediocre season and just let him continue. I don't think that would happen. All right. Again, personal prediction. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. And can I say again, just to Nuruddin and JC, to give 50 memberships is, I think it must be unique. I'd be amazed if there's any other communities that do what you all do here. And it's all of you that have done it. It started off as a little, I don't know what it started off as. Didn't ask for it. It just started happening. I've just left the link to the Discord down there again. All right. We got a busy couple of days. I'm going to be live a few more times with Ugarte, hopefully with Sancho to Juve, with deadline day tomorrow, with the starting 11. Big up to all of you. Woo! I'll see you soon. Take it easy.